And if you think Obama's going to save you, think again. He's a puppet just like Bush was. And if he did try to save us, it would come out that he was born in Kenya, or even more likely they'd kill him like they killed Kennedy. But the media built this guy up as the Messiah, and he's going to push the same agenda Bush did. The police state's going to expand. There's going to be more wars. And at least at first, the delusional public is going to hail it all as divine mandate. And we know he's coming for the guns. Gun control isn't for criminals. Criminals, by definition, don't obey laws. It's for you. They don't want you to be able to defend yourself. They've already disarmed most of the Western world. And if that doesn't concern you, it should, because populations are disarmed right before millions are killed. And when the Depression gets real bad, Obama's going to have a new deal for us, but it's not going to be building bridges and dams. It's going to be green police. All those troll-like creatures that couldn't hold a job before the Depression are going to be told they're saving the earth, given power trips and tasers, and sent into your town to write fines all day. Then it's only a matter of time before they're in your house checking your thermostat and light bulbs, and if you think the CPS is out of control kidnapping children now, you haven't seen anything yet. And I have news for you. Man-made global warming is a total fraud. CO2 is not pollution. Animals exhale it, plants breathe it in. The sun is what causes climate change, and it's completely natural. But the truth isn't going to stop them from pay carbon taxes directly to the central banks. They're going to start taxing the flatulence from cows and pigs, which is going to completely wipe out the last few family farms. And it won't be long till you can't build a fire when you go camping or plant a vegetable garden or who knows what else, because when you have a population that believes cow farts are making the earth hotter, you can make them believe and do anything. Here's some more truth that'll blow your mind. Al-Qaeda isn't and never was a terrorist group. But don't just take my word for it. I quote Robin Cook, a former British Foreign Secretary. The truth is, there is no Islamic army or terrorist group called Al-Qaeda. And any informed intelligence officer knows this. But there is a propaganda campaign to make the public believe in the presence of an identified entity representing the devil, only in order to drive the TV watcher to accept a unified international leadership for a war against terrorism, end quote. He wrote this in a column for The Guardian a month before his mysterious death. Bin Laden was, though, a product of a monumental miscalculation by Western security agencies. Throughout the 80s, he was armed by the CIA and funded by the Saudis to wage jihad against the Russian occupation of Afghanistan. Al-Qaeda, literally the database, was originally the computer file of thousands of mujahideen who were recruited and trained with the help of the CIA to defeat the Russians, end quote. And if our criminal government blamed Al-Qaeda, a CIA computer file, for the 9/11 attacks, who killed 3,000 people that day? So that's where our country is at. Our government is illegitimate and controlled by psychopaths. The people have been brain damaged and think their breath is polluting the atmosphere. And our culture has been devastated so badly, most people aren't sure what the Bill of Rights is or what the Declaration of Independence says. And now the bad news gets worse. This depression is going to have a domino effect. Credit is being restricted just like it was the last time. That means there's a possibility that grocery stores aren't going to have groceries. Many people won't have money to buy food. Americans are going to start starving to death. And your masters want there to be a complete collapse of society because they are going to make you beg for martial law. Crime is already exploding. And not only are you going to be paying carbon taxes, but they're going to raise taxes across the board and squeeze you until you're forced to revolt. They didn't militarize the police, build FEMA camps, and deploy battle-hardened troops on the streets of America for nothing. There are going to be food riots. And as of right now, rioters aren't going to know who to blame. And that brings me to my solution to everything I talked about for the last 25 minutes. You need to tell everyone you know about eugenics, the Federal Reserve, and a New World Order in general. If these things do not become common knowledge, none of us have a future. I'm only one man, and I'm doing everything I can to warn people, but I can only give so many speeches and knock on so many doors. You need to be your own hero. You can't expect other people to save you. The only reason they're getting away with this tyranny is because you're not fighting it. We are a couple years, if not months, away from losing the ability to fight these monsters forever. So unless you want to lose everything and be completely enslaved, now is the time to say so. Because once the military is arresting people for their speech and you're sitting in a FEMA camp, it's a little too late to say, I disagree. The New World Order is not invincible. It relies on its anonymity. So it can only succeed if you don't tell everyone about it. Because when everyone knows that they're poisoning children and destroying what's left of our country, it's over for them. This whole intimidating apparatus they built to control us will fall apart and they will lose. I'm going to leave you with this. The elite are obsessed with the occult. If you have a dollar bill handy, get it out and look at the right front corner to the left of the one, and you'll see a little owl peeking out at you. See, this is interesting because it reminds me of another owl I know of. This other owl is at the Bohemian Grove in California, where our presidents and other very powerful people have been going for the last century to do mock human sacrifices. This shouldn't really surprise you. And you may have heard of the Large Hadron Collider, the same collider they admit on the History Channel is going to make black holes, which isn't the only thing it might make either. Well, I heard something crazy, so I had to see it for myself. This is the statue of Shiva, the Hindu goddess of destruction they put on top of this doomsday machine. Are you scared yet? I am. Hope I got through to you today, because the fate of the world depends on what you do when you leave here today. Thanks for listening to me, and please, if nothing else, warn everyone with children or thinking about having children about fluoride and the vaccines. Thank you.